It's advised not to use charcoal inside the car, but it's actually starting to steam now in the car. So what I would have to do is go through the flame process outside the car and then bring it in for cooking in. Once all the smoke is gone, then bring the white charcoals in. So propane air is provided from within the tank. The fuel is provided from within the tank, so cooking with the door closed is an advantage. But with charcoal, it kind of needs oxygen, so maybe I need to actually keep the door open or roll the windows down more so that it can get more airflow. Alright, I actually did the fork test on the potatoes, and they're soft. The fork runs right through them, even though it barely boiled. I guess this will be my next test. I want to make some tea. We'll see how long it takes to get to the boiling point. There's nothing they won't put a hodag on around here. Alright, maybe 20 minutes has passed. Still can't. Oh, 20 minutes has passed, and I'm just now seeing tiny, tiny bubbles. This does not put out a lot of heat. So, how dangerous is charcoal cooking if it doesn't put out as much heat as propane? Propane's more dangerous. I counted out 30 coals, so this is the work of 30 coals. Maybe I could like pile them in the center, and that might create enough heat to bring it to boil. Well, after about an hour of use, they're pretty much no good. I'm not gonna get a boil out of this cup. Alright, when I stirred those coals up, the vent was open and it burnt a hole in my carpet. So I definitely just risked a fire there with the open vent. This is quite the setup. They're using the sewer thing. They gotta pay $6 to make use of the sewer thing. What a setup. That's a weird looking motor. HDR. Alright, I woke up with a racing heart last night right here. And I think it's environmental. This guy's car is running behind me, and I smell gas. I wonder if it's something with the environment. I'm like, it's really hard for me to blame myself. Why would I just suddenly wake up with a racing heart for no reason? I think there's an outside problem. I mean, the status of areas change daily. I was just parked over here in this section on the very end, and then I just parked over here last night. I had no problems 2 nights ago, but last night I had a big problem with my heart racing. And I was a little cold, and it's really not that cold out. So it's possible the wind is low. There's barely any wind. But I smell something weird, like gas around my car, and I didn't smell any gas around my car 2 nights ago. See, these yellow highways make parks less attractive to me. So I don't want this park because it's off of a trucker route. And I'm glad that Garmin or Google Maps makes it clear about that, what the truck routes are. The white roads are the less active roads, less heavy duty. The yellow roads are the truck routes. And I don't want to just be hanging out next to a truck route because they can be pretty noisy. So I overate nearly a full pot of oatmeal using milk to wash it down. Then I brute forced a poop out by jumping up and down on this thing right outside my car. That was quite an experience. I got so full, I wanted to just bounce, and I could feel my stomach. I could go for more bouncing. I could feel my stomach going, bouncing with my actions, because it's so full. And you're supposed to bounce up and down after eating, because I think that settles things better. Some people just came by and threw a bunch of stuff on the parking lot. Too many people have been using soap and shampoo. And this is a beach. I can't say I've ever seen a public use kayak rack. Rhinelander welding class 2018 to 2019. It's creative, and you don't see this anywhere really for public use. Chet's Dairy Bar is closed. It's a Monday evening and nobody's in the mood for that ice cream. I'm interested in just getting a close-up of the police station. There's the badge on display. I want to get a close shot of that. So they got the hodag on it. Alright. I hate witnesses. God, lady's looking back at me. I want to take a different route back to my car. I've never seen a mythical creature put on a police badge before. The Pioneer Park Historical Complex says that the admission is free. 10 to 5. Such long hours. And it's free. Oh yeah, that old oil machine smell all in here. Splitting them logs. I need to be able to split logs so I can, yeah, well, okay, it's just a roller to be able to stand on and do calf raises. The mystery machine. Huh. You crank it and it holds on to something, and okay. Oh, they got a sled they'd pull them on in the winter time, and they're ready to be sawed on this old saw. It's belt driven, as shown by the tractor belt. Now why can't Eau Claire be free like this? Eau Claire's probably at like $10 now. I think I paid $5 or so. And this seems to have more than Eau Claire, because I actually paid one time for Eau Claire. Yeah, this is free. Oh.
Welcome to the one-room schoolhouse.
You almost look like a mannequin when I came in. You weren't moving at all.
I know I was reading a very
Are you?
long email. Well, we've got a mannequin there that literally scares the living daylights out of the young kids that come in because you don't see them in the department stores anymore.
Okay, are you expecting people or something? Are you expecting a group to come in? Oh, all right. Why are you here?
The schoolhouse is manned every single day in case people have questions. We tell them the story of the schoolhouse. Just like in the CCC camp, there's always somebody in there.
All the other schoolhouses I've been in for like museum stuff, they've never had somebody in the schoolhouse.
Oh, well.
You're the I've never seen this before.
Well, where are you from?
All around. I've been traveling up and down and
you've been here, there, and everywhere.
I've been to quite a few museums. And I've never been to a museum where the schoolhouse has somebody who's dedicated.
This schoolhouse is covered from the time it opens at 10 o'clock until it closes. The park closes at 5.
Yeah.
And so I like to tell people this building was built in 1902 and it was used until 1954.
Okay.
And people from Wisconsin call water fountains bubblers, and that's an official school bubbler there in the corner. If they didn't have running water, they all had a bubbler.
Okay.
The picture is the first teacher in 1883.
Oh, okay.
And the mannequin is a representative of how the teachers dressed in those days.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
And we've got as many of the different types of desks and things in here.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. New Oxford.
You know, we've got from McGuffey readers to the Dick and Jane books and old encyclopedias.
Usually I skip over the school stuff kind of fast. You know, I just.
You just look in and say, "Yep, that's one-room school."
That's what I usually do.
Yeah. Well, I bet you've never seen one of the original old copy machines. This is called a hectograph.
A hectograph?
Yep. They use the indelible pencil.
Indelible, not lead?
Nope, it was a purple indelible pencil that the teacher would make the master on. Well, she only maybe needed one or two.
This wasn't very popular though, because I never had this in when I went to school.
Well, this is 1800s.
Yeah, but
you
still.
You probably had the crank where you got the paper. Oh no, you're so young. You probably just got the kind that's printed. But I had the kind that.
Is this for like? What kind? What's the end product of this? Can you get? Is there any example of?
Sure.
No. Don't make it now. What has been made in the past?
Well, here, let me. As far as the actual, I threw the paper.
Oh, old stuff.
Yeah.
Well, no, like what
they did? You used the indelible pencil to make. I had XYZ. And
but is that what a teacher?
You wet that. So the teacher would put like the multiplication test on here.
Okay.
And she would have it all written out with that indelible pencil. She would wet that gel.
So that's.
Lay it down, and then she could make 2 or 3 copies of the test.
So that would be for like 10 students. They would all have copies. So they'd be handed these copies to do a test.
Yes.
And it'd be like 2 + 2 = whatever.
Division or multiplication or fractions or geography or anything. They manually had to make out the test.
And there's a label. Oh, duplicator.
Yeah. I'll lay it down if you want to. Yeah.
Oh.
And it was called a hectograph.
Yeah, I don't. That's rare because I haven't seen that in any other museum. So that probably wasn't used a whole lot.
And then the spectroscope, which is the.
Oh, I've seen that in a few places.
Were before the Viewmaster.
Are you to give the impression that these were used at school?
Well, they were definitely.
Okay, because they're generally when they're put on display in museums, they're never put in the school area.
Well, they were used in schools because based upon a daily schedule. You can check like every 10 to 15 minutes, a different group of students
Yeah.
had to come up. Well,
Where's the stereoscope for that?
well, that's quiet time. So if you had to wait your turn,
There's no quiet time. There's no quiet time.
well, yeah, there is because a first grader they came up to read. They had
Read
all this time to do stuff.
reading is quiet time.
No, I'm saying first graders came
What-
up to read.
When
After they were through reading at say 9:40, they went
Yeah.
back to their seats.
no,
They
yeah.
had to have something to do until it was their next time to come up, which is 10:45
Come up to what?
to come up to do their language arts. So they
Language
would
arts?
leave and they would come up and do language arts. Well, in that time frame,
Yeah,
if they had finished reading their book, they had to do something
they
in
would read
quiet
it,
time.
open up another book.
Right, but
Right.
maybe they would go to the sand table and play there, or maybe they would use the spectroscope and look at pictures,
Yeah,
or
I've
maybe
never-
they would do puzzles.
You're saying this schoolhouse, that's the original sand table
Yes.
from this schoolhouse?
Well, not from this. It might have been. I don't know.
Because I've never seen a sand table in a schoolhouse before. I think I'd get it messy. I think it'd
Well, the
cause.
kids had to learn to keep the sand inside, otherwise
Yeah.
they had to sweep it up.
Oh, yeah.
They have a broom and a dustpan, and,
Yeah.
they learned real fast.
Well, maybe just take it out, and then you don't have to have that problem, right?
But they kept it inside so that you could see, because when they went out for recess, they went out and played games.
Yeah, they'd play in the sand outside, not in the building.
Well, these played in the building. A lot
yeah.
of them had.
That's the first I've ever seen for any school room, recreation. I've never seen
Well,
it.
this came out of the Rhinelander school.
Maybe that was an experiment. That's probably because that's not a widespread thing. Just like these are not widespread. That definitely is not widespread.
Well, we were fortunate enough to be able to get one.
Maybe this is one of those charter schools.
No.
That was like an experiment.
No, this goes from 1902 until 1954.
Yeah.
It was in McNaughton, and then it was in 2 places in McNaughton, and then Pine Lake, and then it got moved here.
Okay, so this whole building was relocated.
Right, it was across from where Hodag Fest is, and it was used while they were building the new Pine Lake School, which is now a thrift shop, because the school board sold.
Oh yeah, I don't know how they handle all the customers during the Hodag Fest at the thrift shop. I mean, they probably closed down during Hodag Fest.
No, they made good money. They kept it open.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the size of this building, and there's thousands of people.
Well, the school, I'm talking about the school. Every classroom was something different at Pine Lake School.
But the antique shop, right? They got a big sign that says antiques or something, and the fest is right there.
Right.
So they're going to attract thousands and thousands of people.
If they want to go in just to check it out to see what.
Yeah, it'll be a line for. It would be too much.
Well, I have a couple friends that volunteer there. They work there at that thrift shop every Wednesday and Saturday when it's open.
But I mean, you need extra people for the fest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like hundreds and hundreds of porta potties I saw.
I know. Lions Club sells the parking tickets for people to park.
How much? Do you know how much the parking is? Or you never? Okay.
Well, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
But, all right. Yeah. Yeah. You got some rarities here that I would call them outliers. Okay. Some of these things they're outliers for what I've seen at other school recreations. Yeah. So I wouldn't.
Well, everything we have in here is authentic. Nothing has been made to come into the school.
They've been used. They've been tried.
Right. Well, it's just like I tell the kids, the lunch pails that are hanging on the hooks there in that room. That's why they're called lunch pails, because they were pails
Oh,
before they went to the square boxes.
oh, these are lunch pails.
Yeah,
Oh, it says, okay.
yeah.
Instead of the boxes, yeah, that's.
And then there's one of the
Oh,
first metal boxes.
yeah.
And these were different things that came out of the various classrooms. And then that map there shows all of the where the schools were, all the country schools in the county, scattered everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, you guys you took care of your school supplies
Yeah.
over, even long after they've been replaced by other things. So it's pretty impressive, what you have here.
Yeah. And look how fancy the 8th grade diploma was. I mean, because people didn't go on into high school.
Yeah.
So to graduate from 8th grade was a big thing.
I wonder what do you think the average age to graduate 8th grade?
Well, boys,
Could,
14, 15 was what girls were, but a lot of the boys, because it took them they weren't retained, but it took them almost 2 years because they didn't start school until after Thanksgiving because they had been working out in the fields or in the farms. And so when I graduated from 8th grade, like I said, I went to a 2-room schoolhouse. The year before I graduated, there was a fella in that 8th grade class that was 17.
17, okay. Yeah, that's.
Because he was a farm kid and he only came to school 3-4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And they didn't count it really as absenteeism. I mean, if he had a few days in October, he would come in October, and then he would come some in November, but he wasn't there every day because he was working.
Yeah. Well, and what can you say? What year that he graduated, or what year?
Well, I graduated in '53 from 8th grade. There were 8 of us, 7 girls and 1 boy, and nobody was in 3rd grade. So they put me, like I said, they put me in 4th because I was the only 3rd grader. And this young man was, because we had a 17th birthday party, and then he graduated. So.
Yeah, but I mean that would be kind of like, in this day and age it'd be kind of weird to see.
Oh, of course.
But back then it was probably
pretty common.
Yeah, that's because things are manual labor was more hands-on.
Yeah.
Less.
Yeah, they didn't have. I mean, you just figure it was either a horse and a plow or an old-timey tractor. Wasn't this computerized tractors or anything like they have today.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm amazed that this costs this is free. This whole demonstration.
Yeah, everything.
Like you go to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, they got lumberjack museum. It costs like $6, I think.
Yeah, and some of them are even more. The one in Oshkosh is.
And it's in Carson Park. The Eau Claire one is in Carson Park.
Yeah.
And you say Oshkosh costs money?
Yeah, Oshkosh, and then especially the one in outside of Appleton, outside of Green Bay. I think it's in Ashwaubegon. I mean, there it's like $12 or $14.
Yeah. How does this stay free while all those others cost money?
Well, it stays free because, for one, I'm also in the women's club here in town.
Okay.
As an example, Culver's does share nights. So I said, we'll do a share night for the park. Well, we earned, I don't know, it was over $200 in tips, and so they got $625. I mean, everything is a volunteer. So essentially, the man that's in charge, and the city of Rhinelander, this is part of the park system.
Yeah.
So the number of people that we get to sign the registry, so I was going to ask you to sign it, shows that we have a lot of visitors so that they can work it in the budget for the city of Rhinelander in the park system.
You just count the people?
They count the people and where it's right behind you on that table. And where they came from and things like that, and that's how it stays free. By donations and fundraisers and a little bit of it is in the city budget, you know, and basically the part in the city budget is electricity and the gentleman who's in charge.
Yeah, who pays for the electricity? The city gives maybe a discount
Yeah.
because it's a part of the park.
Right, this is
So,
part of the.
all the electricity is part of the park bill, pretty
Right,
much.
right, and that's all part of the city budget, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how they can maintain it for free.
Yeah, and you just volunteer your
Right,
time.
and that's it, and everybody that's here, you know, is volunteer, so.
All right. Yeah.
Well, thank you for stopping
Yeah.
by and asking questions and being interested.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll move on to the next.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
That Conservation Corps, 33 to 42. Right.
How you doing?
All right. On each other, and they're swinging all this heavy equipment around, and there's no reports on accidents or any kind of criminal activity.
Somewhere.
Right.
I've read that now and then a death occurs.
Yeah. Oh, does it say?
I don't remember where I saw it. A death, but it.
Because you think the newspaper
It was
probably
an accidental death.
just all accidents. Okay, but they're pulling pranks on each other too. Did you see the information on that? Do you know like a prank that's a kid would pull on another? You ever see any information on that?
Well, they don't really have a lot of, information here on all the pranks that we're pulling.
Because for example, there was one prank where a kid's shoe was nailed to the ground, nailed into the floor. You know, pranks like that. You know, there's probably a lot of pranks being pulled in the CCC camp, I would think. You know, that shaving cream in the shoes.
Yeah, and then the guy probably gets pissed because his shoe got nailed to the floor.
Yeah, and then they may settle it with the boxing gloves. But I mean, there's probably worse things that happen too. But you know, and I just saw like in whatever bit of information about the pranks. But it's probably what I see is what you see is.
I don't think they wanted to advertise the bad things about it
You think they suppressed the information?
Yeah, it's just like the government does now.
It could be a government.
They don't like what you say, they try to suppress it.
Yeah.
With the phony free speech.
So yeah, only the parents would find out that it's an accident, but when it really could have been a murder. They didn't go through an investigation process. They just kind of counted it as an accident.
They may have, if the guy got chopped with an axe, well, it was just an accident.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy was pissed at him.
But I mean, there must have been witnesses. There could have been witnesses, and this is probably stuff they talk about after they're through with the camp. Maybe 20 years later, they talk about it.
Well, even if it's not reported anywhere, there's no information, and it's, you know what I mean. But I'm sure it has happened.
Yeah.
Even
like a drowning,
even in a concentration camp, when they had all these people that they were going to kill, I bet people got pissed off at each other. Anytime you got a group of people together,
oh yeah,
there's friction. Someone's apt to have there's apt to be friction between people.
yeah, and probably even like,
Especially when they're in groups.
and even with cabin fever in the winter time,
Yeah.
because they're,
Because when they had COVID, everybody was locked up at home, or they were pushing people to be at home and on their jobs, and there was alcohol use went up,
oh yeah,
family violence went up.
oh yeah,
I'm sure
yeah, that's,
there was more murders
yeah,
because of it, because all of a sudden the murder rate in the cities went up during 20 and 21. All of a sudden, if you show the murders from each year in a city, all of a sudden in 20 and 21, like in Milwaukee, all of a sudden it spiked.
that's
during
okay.
COVID.
They've been getting more reports of non-COVID related deaths, pretty much. So somebody was trying to say in a report 99% of the COVID deaths were not really COVID deaths, or they're just kind of reported as related to COVID.
Well, tons of them probably weren't COVID because hospitals were getting a big chunk of money for every COVID death. They were getting like 50 grand. When they pumped that 1 point, there's trillions that they blew into the system.
Okay, yeah, and the CCC camp had a hospital, right? So this is it.
Yeah, but they didn't have some official doctor's office, and you know what I mean. If a guy was hurt bad, they had to drive him into towns.
Yeah, there would be medical reports of incidents on the CCC camp, but those, you don't have any medical reports here. I'm sure you got a lot of great stuff here.
Well, that stuff probably happened, but none of that information's here.
Or like a coroner's reports. If somebody died on camp, they could determine if there's a murder or if there's an accident.
It probably happened, but you'd have to dig to find it.
Yeah, and it's not something that they give to a museum. I'm sure you guys got a lot of great stuff here.
Yeah,
for sure. Better than I've seen in any other CCC camp thing.